Welcome to the 3 steps to giving good directions in a stressful situation. This has been developed for the high-risk corporate security department, which has recently had increased emotional tensions between employees because of poor communication skills in dealing with these stressful situations. So let us begin with the 3 steps. Step 1 is to have the right attitude. Step 2 is to give quality instruction. And step 3 is to send and receive feedback and questions. Now this may seem somewhat straightforward, but we're going to get into more detail later on. But first, let's talk about the reasoning behind this system. Stressful situations cause emotional tension between all parties involved, can make the problems worse, and can lead to errors when solving the problem. I'm sure all of us have been in a stressful situation that caused issues, possibly arguments between people in that stressful situation. And it also made problems worse, whether it's due to lack of clarity or because of just the stress and emotional tension as it is. So that's what we're trying to solve here. So step 1, having the right attitude. The key is to keep success in mind, talk with, not at each other, and have the mindset that it's us versus the problem, not you versus me. How many of us have heard or said ourselves, I can't do this? Well, that's a self-defeating mindset. If you believe you're going to fail, you are going to fail. So the trick is to keep success in mind. Talking with, not at each other. No one would enjoy seeing this drill sergeant scream in their face, because when you're being talked at, you don't feel appreciated, you don't feel like you matter, and also, it causes more stress and emotional tension than there already is. Us versus the problem. This builds a teamwork mindset that we work together to solve a problem, not that you and I are separate. It also reduces blame and guilt by saying it's an us situation, not you did this or you need to do this because of whatever reason. So to review, step 1, attitude. You need to keep success in mind, talk with, not at each other, and have the us versus the problem mindset. So now that we have the right attitude, we can move on to step 2. Step 2 is give quality instruction. And for this to occur, the instructions need to be descriptive, ordered, and concise. To be descriptive, you need to provide detail. The key to doing this is to not assume that everyone has the same knowledge that you do. Just because you know something about the organization or the best way to do it doesn't mean that they do as well. So you need to be more concrete with what you are asking them. But do not condescend. Who here has had someone talk down to them and explain something in such minute detail that it makes you feel bad as a person and it causes more emotional tension and resentment between two people? To have order and instruction, you need to lead with our problem. That ties in that teamwork mindset from before. Follow a chronology. And the key to that is don't be a Quentin Tarantino. Quentin Tarantino is the director of Pulp Fiction. And anyone who's seen the movie knows that it starts in the middle of the movie. And then it goes to the end of the story. Then at the end of the movie, it actually goes back to the beginning of the story. The problem with that is it's very confusing to follow. And you're not sure of what's going on. So in directions, give it in a chronological order so that they know what they have to do in that order. And be concise. Focus on the task only and avoid rambling. Also, don't micromanage. By explaining every little detail, it's insulting to the person, and it also adds more information that they have to sift through. I'm sure we've all been in a situation where someone tries to tell you every minute detail, and it actually causes more confusion than it does good. So to review step 2, quality instruction, they need to be descriptive, ordered, and concise. So with the right attitude and quality instruction, what's left? That's step 3, feedback and questions. Both individuals should provide and ask for feedback and questions. So feedback and questions are actually the job of both parties. The person giving instruction should ask for feedback and also ask for questions, and the person receiving instructions should provide feedback and also ask questions for clarification. The key to feedback is having the instructions reiterated. The reason is because it identifies miscommunication and potentially anything missed. How many of us have received instruction and been a little unsure of it and just said okay, instead of saying I'm not sure? Or when giving someone instruction, they keep saying okay, I got it, when you're not really sure if they do. Having the instructions reiterated will help remedy this problem. Feedback and questions help us identify potential problems and create solutions before they occur. Now, a large hurdle to using feedback and questions is when an individual pretends to have confidence in instruction and knows what they're doing, even though they don't. So the key here is to make sure that you do not pretend to have confidence in the instruction if you don't. Ask these questions to gain clarification and have confidence in the instructions, then you'll succeed. How many of us have not asked a question, whether in class or in training, because they're afraid to admit that they don't know something? Well, the problem is you're setting yourself up for failure down the road. So admitting that you don't know something will actually provide you clarification by asking questions that will set you up for success later on. So to review the 3 steps, let's start by seeing if we can remember and come up with them without looking at our notes and going over them. Go ahead and try and write them down. All right. Let's see how you did. So step 1 is to have the right attitude. This is to keep success in mind, to talk with each other, not at each other, and to have the mindset that this is a teamwork issue, that this is us versus the problem, not a separate situation. Step 2 is to give quality instruction. Quality instruction needs to be descriptive, ordered, and concise. And finally, step 3 is to send and receive feedback and questions to identify miscommunication, potential errors down the road, and to strengthen confidence in the instruction given. So now that we've gone over these steps, it's time to apply them for success in stressful situations.